हरे राम 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 राम। हरे कृष्ण। So today I am अनादि कर्म from Gita. अनादि कर्म सारी बारे न सारी बारे न विषय हलाहले दिवनिशि दिया अज्वले मन कबू सुख नहीं पाया मन कबू सुख नहीं पाया अनादि कर्म फले परिभव नर चले सारी बारे न देखी सारी बारे न आश पाश शत शत क्लेश देय आविरत प्रवरिति प्रवृत्ति आश पाश शत शत क्लेश देय आविरत प्रवृत्ति प्रवृत्ति काम क्रोध आदि बात पादे देय अवसान होइलो काम क्रोध आदि छाया बात पादे देह अवसान होई आशिदेला अवसान होइलो आशिदेला अनादि कर्म फले परिभव नर सारी बारे सारी बारे ज्ञान कर्म ठग दुई मोरे प्रतिरिया लोई अवशेषे फिर सिंधु जाले अवशेषे फिर जाले ज्ञान कर्म ठग दुई मोरे प्रातरिया लोई अवशेषे फिर सिंधु जाले अवशेषे फिर जाले हेनो हमारे बन तुम्ही कृष्ण कृपा सिंधु कृपा कोरी तोलो कृपा कोरी तो हेनो तुम्ही कृष्ण कृपा सिंधु कृपा कोरी तोलो मोरे बले कृपा कोरी तो बले पतित किंकरे धरि पाद पद्म धूलि करी देहो भक्ति विनोदाश्रय देहो भक्ति विनोदाश्रय पतित किंकरे धरि पाद पद्म धूलि देहो भक्ति विनोदाश्रय बद्ध होइए बद्ध होए आछि हामी तव नित्य दास धूलिया माया पाश बद्ध होया आछि बद्ध होया आछि दया माया अनादि कर्म फले पड़ी भव नरजनी तारी पारे ना देख तारी पारे न विषय फलम पार मन प्रभु सुख जय राम चंद्र राम कृष्ण चंद्र राम जय राम कृष्ण चंद्र राम कृष्ण चंद्र राम जय राम जय राम जय राम जय राम जय जय श्री Translation: I have fallen into the ocean of material existence as a result of my selfish activities, which are without beginning, and I see no means of deliverance from this great ocean of day and night. My heart burns from the poison of these worldly activities, and on account of this, my mind never finds any satisfaction or happiness. Hundreds and thousands of desires, like nooses around my neck, constantly give me misery and trouble. In that great ocean of my pain, play the waves of materialistic tendency. In this world, there are many thieves and rogues, of whom six are prominent: lust, anger, greed, illusion. They are causing me great fear. This way, my life is coming to an end. The two highway robbers, mental speculation, and fruitive activity have cheated me and misled me. And finally, they are throwing me into the ocean of misery. At such a time as this, my dear Krishna, you are the only friend, and you are the ocean of mercy and compassion. I have no strength to get out of this ocean of misery. So I pray to your lotus feet that you will be kind and by your strength uplift me from this ocean of suffering. Accept this fallen servant and fix me as a particle of dust on your lotus feet. Kindly give me shelter to this Bhakti Vinoda, O most merciful Lord. Actually, I am your eternal servant, but having forgotten this, I have become bound up by the network of Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the seva. And Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I'm done with the kirtan. Can anyone hear me? Hello?
यस
Yes,
यस माता
yes,
जी।
Mataji. Yes.
माता जी
Mataji,
आपका आवाज बहुत ही ब्रेक हो रहा था आज, बहुत ही। तब नेट
okay.
इश्यू लग रहा है। हाँ माता जी। और चारू प्रभु जी लेफ्ट हो गए, मतलब उनका भी नेट इश्यू है आज कुछ।
Okay, so shall we continue with the kirtan till he comes?
यस माता जी, प्लीज।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhu patitanam pavanam vaishnavam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram.
प्रभु जय जय माताजी.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, we finished with the kirtan. Hare Krishna, Charu Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji,
Yes.
we can hear.
Yeah, okay. Good. Sorry, there's an internet issue with me here. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All great Srila Prabhupada. Welcome back. So let me invoke the prayers that we usually do. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishaya Namaha. O most magnificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden complexion of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varanam Trisha Krishnam Sangopangostra Parshadam Yagnahi Sankirtana Praye Yajanti Sumedhasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself appearing. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nana Sastra Vicharnaik Nipunau Shadadharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hitakarinau Tribhuane Manyau Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Anande Namattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narom Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. Welcome back. So yesterday we heard the last of the 3 lessons in Sri Nama Tattva. Especially we heard about the Nam Abhasa, the 2 ways, Pratibimba and Chaya. Pratibimba means reflection, and Chaya means it's the shadow. So now we will continue into the 4th and last part, that is the Rasa Tattva. We heard some of you who attended the other courses in Priti Sandarbha, Ujjwal Nilamani particularly. We heard so much about that. And still in this Jaiva Dharma, we are going to hear about Rasa Tattva from a very, very new perspective. A lot of new things you'll be hearing in addition to what you already heard about, okay? And so a lot of technical new terms that you are hearing. But before I get into it, let's hear the recap of the class that we heard yesterday. And that was the last of the Nama Tattva, Nama Abhasa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Haripur, Dandavat Pranam to all. Yes, we are going to see Jaiva Dharma, and His Grace Charuchandra Prabhuji has taken us for us yesterday Sri Nama Tattva, the principle of Harinam, and the 3rd part of this, that is Namabhas. And His Grace Charuchandra Prabhuji concluded about this Namabhas Tattva in 3 themes, that is theme 5, 6, and 7. That is definition of Abhasa, the interrelationship between Bhakti Abhasa, Bhava Abhasa, Nama Abhasa, Vaishnava Abhasa, and Shraddha Abhasa, and different kinds of Namabhas especially were considered in yesterday's lecture. The question it was asked to understand the holy name, and one should first understand 3 things about Shuddha Nam, Namaparat, and Namabhas. So what is Shuddha Nam? Is pure chanting without any offenses. What is Namaparat? Is offensive chanting and chanting of holy name. And 3rd one is Namabhas. That is a reflection of the holy name, which has the 3 definitions. So yesterday, Samta Mataji also summarized about last time's 10 offenses, which were described, as well as Kirtan. In Kirtan also, Raksha Mataji explained very nicely about from Padma Puran Brahmakant. Then what is Namabhas, which is a reflection of the holy name, and it has got the 3 definitions based on its light, a shadow, and that is Pratibimba, Chaya or Pratibimba. So on the basis of Kanti, it is what is Namabhas? Abbas is the effulgent son of the holy name. Based on Chaya or shadow, that is, Prabhuji also explained in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it is about the 15th chapter, first shloka, Urdhva Mula Mada Shakam. Similarly, the Chaya, the son of the holy name, caste is shadow. And third one, that is Pratibimba. Uh, about third one, it has been explained in 15th chapter, the son of the holy name, that has been reflected. So it's been explained that the why speak of Bhaktiya, Bhava, Nama, Vaishnava and Shraddha Abhasa, and each are divided into Pratibimba and Chaya Abhasa. Then Prabhuji explained the interrelationship between all this Bhakti, Bhava, Nama, Vaishnava and Shraddha Abhasa. So yes, the material devotee do not study the Shastra and try to understand the actual standards of pure devotional service. Is there, however, if they feel they can follow regulative principles which are learned from their spiritual master or from his family who worships the deity, he is to be considered as on the material platform, although he is trying to advance in devotional service. Such a person is Bhakta Praya, that is a neophyte devotee, and are on the Bhakti Abhasa stage. They are, Prabhuji also explained that they are initiated devotees and uh, they do represent a Vaishnava philosophy. So, in case of Shraddha Abhasa, one is materialistic or can have partial faith. So, which starts from Adho Shraddha, then is Shraddha. So, one has got the faith in the name of Lord, but not on his devotees. In case of Bhakta Abhasa, so only a partial devotee because of his faith and devotion that are materially oriented are called as Prakruta Bhakta. Then are Vaishnava Praya or Abhasa, not pure Vaishnava because they are limited to the external appearance only and not purified internally. Then Namabhasa, one can progress into Namabhasa, the Prakrit Bhakta or a pseudo Vaishnava. So chanting of the holy name is merely a shadow or reflection of Shuddha or pure chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Then Bhava Abhasa, the Prakriti Bhakta, a pseudo Vaishnava whose ecstatic devotional bhavas are synthetic or limited to a shadow, pratibimba, or a chaya of a genuine bhav. So the questions which were asked, like if impersonalist accepts outwardly the Vaishnava standard or Vaishnava etiquettes, then is he Vaishnava Abhasa? Babaji explains that no, one is not in this Vaishnava Abhasa platform, but will be considered as an offender and Vaishnava Apradi. Those who take shelter of Pratibimba Nam or Pratibimba Bhava Abhasa may be called Vaishnava Abhasa. So all these five kinds of Abhasa are thus interrelated and interdependent. And in that, um, Raghunath Das Goswami's father, that is Hiranyagarbha and Govardhan. So they were on Vaishnava Praya platform with Namabhas chanting as per the explanation. Then in the next, the theme that is Shuddha Nama Tattva. So as per Srila Rupa Goswami's shloka from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam Anukulena Krishnanushrilanam Bhakti Ruttama. Here Anyabhilasha means there are no any desires for any fruity activities, that is for Jnana and Karma, and not desiring for any liberation. So, so this is the standard in pure bhakti. Then it needs to be favorable, that is anukulena. So it should be favorable to Lord Krishna, and one can progress to Shuddhanam, that is pure chanting, and for that sadhu sang is required. So here, if one considers oneself as lower than the blade of grass, you know, so if one is so much of tolerant and do not expect any personal honor, yet is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant as per the explanation in case of pure devotional service for Shuddhanam. So to Shuddhanam is pure chanting of holy name. The spiritual holy name is here openly manifested. In case of Namabhas, we can see. So what is the difference between Namabhas and Namaprad? So out of bewilderment and foolishness, there is a hope for Shuddha Nam chanting in case of Namabhas. And uh, if one wants to turn Namabhas into Shuddha Nam, so that will be possible through chanting, and that has been possible through Sadhu Sang. And one should avoid Asa Sangha, especially of women. As per the explanation, post break, we saw the different kinds of Namabhas. One who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sin. Then why one should chant all the time the holy name as per the explanation? Even though one chants indirectly, jokingly, or neglectfully, or disrespectfully, still one is freed from all the sin, and one is accepted by all learned scholars as per the scriptures it is being said. So, in case of indirectly chanting, Prabhuji explained the example of Ajamil, how at the moment of death he called his son Narayana, and he got freed. Also, we can see in case of Malaichas who utter Haram. So the word Ram is there, and it shows Namabhas, and which brings them liberation. Uh, so it has been seen that in case of Yavanas and all, they do jokingly, they may jokingly, disrespectfully, or neglectfully take the holy name of the Lord, but still they at least they can get liberation. As we know that Krishna's name is the sweetest of sweet things, the most auspicious of auspicious things, the transcendental fruit of wine of all Vedic literatures, as it has been explained, and so it delivers the chanter. In case of the next question, that is what benefit Namabhas and Namapra do or do not have. In case of Namabhas, one can get Bhukti Mukti as well as yogic perfection, but they may not achieve Krishna Prem. So as to achieve Krishna Prem, they will need sadhusang and can progress on the path of Shuddha Nam chanting, and they can attain Krishna Prem. So in case of, despite Vaishnava Bhasa or Vaishnava Prayas, why don't they achieve Krishna Prema, the ultimate final goal? So the reason is so as to become pure Vaishnava, their path of gradual advancement is stunted. Prabhuji explained it is not stopped, but it is stunted, and it is because of asat sangha, which leads to more offensive behavior. We can see. Only because of the pious deeds, they might get the sadhu sang, which is even possible, and they can elevate themselves on the platform of pure Vaishnava. So in case of Namaprad, their offenses to the holy name will continue blocking all the potentially available paths of elevation to Shuddha Nam. So Namaprad is very, very dangerous for the devotees. One should be away from this. Then also explained, though Namaprad, what about the potency of chanting the syllables of the holy name? So Namaprad will not lead into Krishna Prem, as they are the offenders of Lord. However, over time, the continued chanting may bring the potency and the pious deeds. If they do have the sadhusang, they can progress, and they can be freed from Namaprad. By chanting the holy name only at once, one is freed. Then why one should chant all the time the name of the Lord? Yes, there is a tendency of committing mistakes and offenses, and so which may block the spiritual advancement. And so, as to lead on this spiritual path, one needs the constant chanting. We also have seen in case of um, Sri Prem Vivarta in detail as per the explanation. So today, His Grace Charuchandra Prabhuji will be dealing with Rasa Tattva from Sri Jaiva. Over to you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Beautifully done, as always. Uh, so let me first share my screen. Okay. So everybody can see the screen, right? And you can hear my voice too, I hope.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
yes,
Because I
yes,
have
Prabhuji, clear voice.
this problem is because I Wi-Fi issue is with me right now. So today, let me first introduce this slide and then we'll talk about it. So this is a Rasa Tattva that we are going to do in this particular section. So they are what I've divided into 4 sections actually. 1, 2, 3, 3 sections. And there is a reason for that. The book explains that. So here in section 1, 2, 3. Okay. So section 1, there are 4 components of it. So that we'll do in chapters, lesson 34, 35, 36, and 37. Today we'll do lesson 34. And the chapters corresponding 5 chapters are there that we will do in 4 lessons. Chapter 26 to 30. So here is basically an introductory subsection. We'll be introduced to various terms, some technical terms. Rasa Tattva, so it's a more or less introductory, right? So there are ingredients or components, they're intermixing, and the 5 primary and 7 secondary rasas. And I will just explain you what it is today, okay? So like I said, we will do in 4 subsections, and I've given you a class schedule also. And the section 2, there are 6 subsections are there, right? And that is lesson 38 through 44, corresponding to chapters 31 to 36. And here in this subsection, we'll be hearing, beginning with the Madhurya Rati and constituent personalities, their moods, and their particular activities, all right? And then the last and the most important section, there are 4 subsections, the 3rd section. And this is when this Madhurya Rati becomes more mature, more condensed. Then it is called Shringar Rasa, okay? And this Shringar Rasa is basically the perfection of Madhurya Rati. And there are 2 divisions of it, union and separation. Union Sambhoga and separation is called Vipralamba, that is separation. So this is what a rundown of this entire Rasa Tattva we will be talking about, chapter 26 to all the way to chapter 40, right? So now, here, the first section, first of the 3 sections, there are 4 components as I just told you about. So we'll do in 4 lessons, 34, 35, 36, 37, corresponding to the chapter 26, 27, 5 chapters, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So it's more or less introductory section. So we are going to be introduced, I'm afraid, a lot of technical terms. But those of you who have been with me for some time or with other courses, like I said, Priti Sandarbha, primarily Ujjwal Nilamani, and the Ujjwal Nilamani is more or less, it's of course, it was compiled by Srila Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami's own work in earlier book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, a lot of things are coming from that, right? So what we will be hearing in this section, and particularly today, a devotee would be inclined right from beginning a particular one of the 5 primary rasas, okay? The Shantarasa, that is, and then there's a Dasya Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, and finally Madhurya Rasa, okay? So one who is destined, for example, to become a friendship with Krishna in the Sakhya Rasa, so he will have a particular stabilized bhava in his heart. It's called sthai bhava. Stabilized means there's a permanent. Sthai means permanent. So that is going to be set in his heart. And the main reason for that, of course, is because of Krishna Rati. Rati means prem. He has love, great affection for Krishna. So that is the stimulus, primary component in the heart, and that will interact with the other components to make him specialized, because he's already have a particular inclination, tendency to one of the these 5 rasas, primary rasas. Okay, and I gave you an example of Sakhya rasa, or let's say Dasya rasa. So he will mukhya sthai bhava corresponding to that, but in order to develop that, various other bhavas are going to mixing with it. Okay, and then so mixing with that particular stabilized bhava, sthai bhava in the heart, and we will hear today a sequence of events taking place in his heart, and that too also not only the sequence of events mixing with these other bhavas, but in a particular order in which it is going to take place. So that is what we are going to hear. Okay, so a lot of technicalities are there, so please bear with me. So today we'll do lesson 34. Tomorrow we'll do lesson 35, and the next weekend we'll do 36 and 37, and then beginning with the next section, lesson 38, but we won't get into it right now. So again, to recapitulate what I just told you about, there is a stabilized bhava in his heart that is going to destine a particular, because of his inclination, that he wants to become a friend with Krishna. So all these sequence of events and a particular order is going to take place, because already his sthai bhava is stabilized in his heart, that is going to be destined because of his wish to be a friend to Krishna. That's just one example I gave you, right? So here are the there are 5 themes in this chapter 34, lesson 34. So theme 1, actually we'll be doing chapter 26 and 27, okay? In this chapter 34, lesson 34. The first theme is both these great disciples that we have been hearing so much about them, Vrajanath and his uncle Vijay Kumara, that we all been introduced quite some time back. Now these 2 disciples, who are the disciples of Raghunath Das Babaji, right? That we have heard so much so far. But now, for a reason, Sri Vijay Kumara has to go to Jagannath Puri, all right? And because of that, he's in little, he was going through a little emotional issue because he's going to be interrupted. He's not going to be able to participate in the discussion taking place along with his nephew and their guru, that is Raghunath Das Babaji. That is going to be interrupted. That's why he was a little sad. But there is some positive aspect of it. So what they've decided, they will consult with that guru and see what happens, to going to Jagannath Puri, okay, Shri Purushottam Dharma. So we are going to be introduced another character now in the life of these two great disciples, very, very inquisitive disciples. Brajinatha, he's a nephew of his uncle, that is Sri Vijay Kumara. Okay, and they are going to be introduced, and that recommendation was made by their guru, Babaji, okay, Raghunath Das Babaji, when they heard about it. And remember, in the previous lesson, we heard, previous section, that Vijayanath is now going to be married. He was out of great reluctance. Vijayanath did not want to get into the complications of Grihastha Ashrama, okay, because he wanted to fully devote to his guru and engage in this full-time basis, and he didn't want to get into the household activities. But then Guru convinced him, and of course his uncle too. His uncle was supporting him. Nonetheless, Guru said that because Rajinath happened to be very young, he was just in his mid-20s, I think, and it's better at that point that he first served Krishna in Grihastha Ashrama, and they both agreed. Okay, so his wedding is going to be taking place while this complication arises, that uncle has to go to Jagannath Puri. Okay, so we are going to be introduced to a new character, and that his name is Sri Gopala Guru Goswami. Okay, and he's a very, very advanced soul, and particularly recommended by Raghunath Das Babaji when he heard about that, when they both consulted Babaji that what they should do. They said, yes, it's a very good opportunity. First and foremost, you are going to Jagannath Puri Dharma, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself spent his whole sannyasa duties there, later half, two components. First half, when he was up to first 24 years, he was in Grihastha Ashrama, and then he took up sannyasa. I'm talking about Mahaprabhu. And when he took up sannyasa, he moved from Navadip Dhama to Jagannath Puri Dhama. So, and he traveled extensively during that time in the South India. So his guru was greatly pleased by that, so that both of his disciples will be able to visit all the places that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had visited. All right. So that's one aspect. But the second aspect is that he recommended particularly to see and meet this great personality. So we will going to be introduced to this Sri Gopala Guru Goswami, and he is going to be their Shiksha Guru. Okay, and from him they are going to learn the Rasa Tattva, the science of this rasas. So that we'll hear in the first theme. In the second theme, now we are going to be explained when a Siksha Guru is going to teach both of them about how this particular sthai bhava a devotee has in his heart, and it's going to be mixed with the components. In Sanskrit term, components called samagri, in a particular order, and that sthai bhava is going to be converted into the rasas, the 5 primary rasas and 7 secondary rasas. So that we are going to be here, and that is the cause of this particular rati. The primary cause, of course, in the heart, a devotee has advanced enough to develop at least goal that he has this Krishna rati, Krishna prema that he wants to attain. So here are the components, samagri, ingredients that is going to be mixed in a particular order with this thai bhav, this stabilized bhav in his heart, that is going to be destined to be one of the primary five rasas. So in short, what I'm going to be talking about, to explain to you how the Siksha Guru explained to these two disciples how sthai bhava is converted into the one of the five rasas, primary rasas, and the seven secondary rasas. So what are the samagri? What are the ingredients? Ingredients, first one, and they are going to be mixed in a particular order. Okay, that's why you see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, first going to be mixed vibhava. Vibhava is a very, very important tattva, extremely important. That's the primary component going to be first mixed with the sthai bhava, and it has two subcomponents, very, very important components. First one is called alambana, and the second one is called uddipana. Alambana is really the one which sets things in motion, okay, developing love for Krishna. So anything and everything related to Krishna that is going to stimulate, okay, set up things in motion. So there is a Vishaya Alambana and there is a Ashrama Alambana. Vishaya Alambana is largely Bhagavan Shri Krishna. That is going to set in motion the devotee's heart, anything and everything about Krishna. Okay, so that's why it's called Vishaya. Vishaya means Sanskrit term. It literally means the object of worship. That is Krishna. Okay, like looking at the beauty of Krishna and so on like that. So that is Vishaya Alambana. And then there is a Ashraya Alambana. Ashraya Alambana is the one, the devotees. Devotees taking, they have the object of worship. Their object of worship is Lord Krishna. And they take shelter, that's called Ashraya, meaning the shelter. They take shelter of Krishna. And so these are the two subsections of Vibhava, the Alambana, okay? And then there's a Uddipana. Uddipta means something to really like a fire, setting up the fire, right? The fire in a good sense. So Uddipta means it's really set things going. Anything that is about Krishna, even just looking at his friends, and that would stimulate, begin love for Krishna or Krishna's personal items like his flute, his crown made of these feathers of peacock feathers, like that, you know. So Uddipana. So both Alambana and Uddipana we need to really thoroughly understand, that those are the two important components of Vibhava. And Vibhava is the one is going to set in motion the rest of the other bhavas. Okay. So then comes the second component, and that is called Anubhava. Anu means to follow. So Anubhava, that follows Vibhava in mixing with the Sthai Bhava. All right. These are the external symptoms on the body. Okay. And then the third component is going to mix. Remember, everything is happening in a particular order. The third bhava is going to mix, is called Sattvic Bhava. There are 8 Sattvic Bhavas are there. And that is in a particular Sattvic mode, actually, you know, in the heart. And finally, the Vyabhichari Bhavas, we're going to mix. Vyabhichara Bhava is also known as, aka, also known as Sanchari Bhava. The word Sanchari means moving on, it's a transient. Okay, it's like waves in the ocean, comes and goes like that. So there are 33 kinds of Vyabhichari Bhavas are going to be manifesting in the devotee's heart. So they are all going to be mixed. And then this Sthai Bhava, stabilized Bhava, is going to be matured into one of the 5 primary rasas, okay, and the 7 secondary rasas. Now, at this point, I should tell you the main aspect of it, because I'm just trying to introduce, and then before we get into, because there's so many technical terms are there, and I'm trying to get you familiarized with that. Those of you attended Ujjwal Nilamani with me, the Sandarbha, are quite familiar, but something more newer aspect we have to learn. So there is one of the nuances is there's some devotees have a mixed kind of powers, okay. Uh, Mostly we have a particular inclination that we want to become one of the rasas, one of the 5 rasas, right? But some devotees have a mixed kind. They couldn't decide. They cannot decide which is more. Okay, so we'll talk about those nuances. So these bhavas combine with other bhavas to form a particular rasa. So the main goal of this subsection, is to how to mature sthai bhava into a particular rasa, bhava into the rasa, right? Ecstatic symptoms. Now moving on to the third theme. So this second component is very, very important. The third theme is how Krishna appears as 4 types of heroes, okay? And there are built-in contradictions are there, particular kind of personality Krishna manifest in his persona, okay? Dhira Uddatta, Dhira Lalita, Dhira Shanta, and Dhira Uddata. Both disciples are quite going to be confused about that, and they ask questions about that. And we will, Babaji, this Shiksha Guru, is going to quote some quite a few scriptural references to substantiate how these built-in contradictions are there within Krishna, and it does not provide any kind of issues. It's going to be resolved on its own. And these different contradictory personalities, they are driven in the context of a particular Leela. So Krishna adjusts himself a particular pastimes that he wants to enjoy. Okay, so that is all about theme third. And then moving on to fourth theme, Krishna's 2 types of devotees who fit to experience this particular rasas. So we will see the qualification, adhikara, of a devotee to have a particular kind of rasa. What are their adhikaras that we'll hear. So in terms of both those who are practitioners, sadhakas, and also those who are more advanced, who are perfected beings called siddhas. So we'll talk both aspects of it. And the final theme 5, that's in chapter 27, is about from sthai bhava in the heart that originate various anubhavas, sattvic bhavas, and the vyabhichari bhavas in a particular order as I just summarized to you. So we'll see the technical aspect of it in this 5th theme. So that is what I'm just trying to prepare you to get used to all the technical terms. And once you understand their particular functions, then it'll be easier for you to internalize this technical aspect of it. Okay, now we'll hear about the introduction of the Shiksha Guru to these disciples. And the background is because Vijay Kumara, the uncle of Rajanatha, had to go to Jagannath Puri Dharma. Okay, he was highly reluctant, but he had to go. But then some positive aspect of it, we will see about that. So here, so remember now Rajanath's wedding is going to be organized by his grandmother. Okay, and the grandmother, the one who had been pushing him for marriage, but Rajanath had been highly reluctant. that we heard in the past chapters. But now, because the Guru's order, he agreed to get into the Grihastha ashrama. So, of course, obviously, uncle wanted to attend his wedding, but now he is going to be interrupted. He has to move to Jagannath Puri. So that's about it. So during his absence, Vijay Kumara was informed. He sent his younger brother. So he was informed, of course, that his wedding is now set. A particular muhurat, particular day was set. Okay? And obviously he wanted to attend, but he couldn't. So he sent his younger brother to where Vrajnath is living. And we all know Vrajnath is living in Bilva Pushkarani. And I gave you the map of how Bilva Pushkarani, where it is located, in the heart of Navadvipa Dharma, to organize exactly the wedding of Vrajnath to help his grandmother. Okay? So wedding ceremony was going to be attended, was going to be put in motion in the absence of the uncle. So which was duly performed by his grandmother on an auspicious day to a suitable Brahmana bride. So upon his return, Vijay Kumara seemed kind of, so now he returned after a few days, and Vrajnath had already been married now by this time, okay? So when he came, he was in a kind of a dejected mood, very unhappy mood, and somewhat seemed like indifferent to his nephew. So nephew was kind of surprised by that, and he wanted to find out what's going on. So he reminded his uncle that it was him that he now ended up being Grihastha ashrama, that he did not want to get into it because he knew it's going to be shackled into various household responsibilities, and that is going to interfere his goal, accomplishing his goal in devotional service. Okay, so when uncle was showing indifference, so the nephew was a little bit taken back. So he's asking his uncle, what's going on? Why you are so indifferent? Why you so seem unhappy about all this? So then Vijay Kumara confided in him that the situation arose in his life, and he has to go to Jagannath Puri Dharma on a pilgrimage. Okay, so they both decided they will consult their guru, Raghunath Das Babaji. Section C. Babaji actually was very pleased to hear that. On the contrary, both of the disciples thought that Babaji will not give permission. Babaji was very pleased. And two reasons. First, they are going to the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had enacted his wonderful pastimes. The sannyasa duties are there in Jagannath Puri Dham. So they will be able to visit all these wonderful particular sites in Jagannath Puri. Okay. Second thing is going to, more important thing is this one, that there is a great personality right now living in Jagannath Puri who was the disciple of Rikeshwara Pandita. Okay, a great personality. And this particular person whose name happens to be Sri Gopala Guru Goswami. Okay, and is very highly learned in the teachings of the renowned Swarup Damodar Goswami. So, because he's going to be teaching them by the Rasa Tattva, the science of the rasas. And that was originally developed. Actually, many of you might be thinking about Srila Rupa Goswami, but Rupa Goswami himself learned the intricacies. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him to take the shelter of Sri Damodar, Swarup Damodar Goswami, who was the one, really the great one who developed the science of Rasa Tattva. Rasa Tattva was already there in the general domain outside, but that was not the application in bhakti. Is what actually the original Rasa Tattva was developed in that science of dancing, music, and that kind of thing. Okay, especially dramatic things. But now its application in the bhakti path was actually developed by Sarup Damodar Goswami. Mahaprabhu was very pleased, and he wanted Rupa Goswami to particularly take instructions from Damodar Goswami. Okay, and then Rupa Goswami actually wrote this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So it's a great opportunity. Babaji told them that you're going to please go and meet this great personality who is now a leading authority on the science of rasas. Okay? He personally took lessons from Swarup Damodar Goswami, the great authority on the science of rasa, and they both should learn from him. Okay, so now they said, and there's a lot of descriptions there on the way how they went to Jagannath Puri. We are not going to get into those. So let's assume they ended up in Jagannath Puri. They arrived there, and Sri Gopal Guru Goswami warmly received them. Guru himself, would-be Guru, Shiksha Guru. The reason, because they were coming from Navadvip Dhama. Navadvip Dhama is the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's a great, great Dharma. So the would-be Guru also was greatly elated to learn that these disciples are coming from that place. And the second important reason, that his god brother was the one who recommended them to see him. So Raghunath Das Babaji was his god brother actually, in a way. You know? We'll not go deeper into that. So they were both of these disciples were warmly received by their would-be Siksha Guru. And he also introduces them to his own disciple, Dhyana Chandra, was a great personality himself, disciple of this Guru, who was already writing a book on devotional studies, especially Raganuga Bhakti. Okay? And later on, we will hear they had a great intimate discussions with the disciple of their Siksha Guru. Okay? So that is about the D section. And section E, the features of Sri Gopal Guru Goswami were wonderful. We are giving some indications of his highly advanced nature. He was a Uttama Adhikari, of course. You know, he was a little bit dark complexion with a very heavy set body, and he was dressed as a sannyasi, obviously, wearing Vaishnava Tilaka, and his holy name of the Lord was written all over his different limbs of his body. On his neck, he was wearing these 4 strands of Tulsi beads, and he was always chanting the holy name. Okay, so that was the introduction of the Siksha Guru. Now we are going to get into now the complexity of how mixing takes place. What are the ingredients? How they mix in one particular order. So this slide is all about that. So here, then the top, you see, what pious deeds must have, so this is the question Brajnath has been asking, okay, to his Siksha Guru. What pious deed must have been performed in the past that he may attain this rasa, develop this particular rasa, the one of the 5 rasas. Please describes Sthai Bhava, this stabilized ecstasy in the heart of the devotee who is going to be destined into one of the 5 primary rasas. So its Sanskrit term is called samagri. Samagri means ingredients, components. Just like in a recipe, before you start cooking, the recipe calls for particular components that you need, ingredients, and how you should add in a particular order. Okay, so it's like a recipe. So how these things combine to become rasa. The goal is how to convert this Thai bhava into the rasas, the ecstatic relationship with Krishna. So Krishna is the Vishaya, the object of worship. The devotee is the Ashraya. He is taking the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord in a particular rasa, particular ecstatic ways. Okay. And could this be reversed? That's another important point. So when Krishna loves his devotees, then he is the rasa ashraya. He is the shelter for that particular rasa. And the devotees are rasa vishaya. So this could be reversed also. By and large, Krishna is the object of worship. And the devotees take shelter of Krishna. Okay. But when Krishna sees that great ecstatic symptoms in his devotee, then Krishna himself become taking shelter of that particular devotee. That is really very interesting. That's the special quality of Krishna, you know. So here, so first there is a sthai bhava. We are going to learn more deeper aspect of it, okay? When we get deeper and deeper into these lessons, all right? But this 34th lesson is an introductory lesson. We are going to be introduced to different players. Different players are these different components, bhavas, that is going to be mixed with the central character that is Thai bhava. The first mixing is a vibhava. I already explained to you there are two aspects of that, alambana and the uddipana. These are, so vibhava is the cause, root cause of this how bhava bhakti, that already goal has Krishna prema, Krishna rati, going to be developed. So vibhava is the one sets in motion all the sequence of events in a particular order. So alambana, one has to know very clearly, is the object of love, and that is Krishna. And the ashra is the devotee who is taking shelter of that love. The uddipana is the one which impels the devotee. Okay, the stimulus, the basic stimulus is alambana. Anything related to Krishna, that is the one which sets in motion. And then secondary aspects are this uddipana. They really illuminate. Uddipana, uddipta is to illuminate. That's what it's, and that propels the devotee towards that goal. Okay, so after vibhava interacts with this Thai bhava, as the consequences of that event, the anubhavas are going to develop. Particular bodily symptoms, external symptoms is going to appear in the body of the devotee called anubhava. The very name anu means follow. The bhava that's immediately going to follow vibhava into the heart is this anubhavas. So it's called subsequent ecstasy. Anu means following, subsequent, ecstasy. So because of the devotees go so elated, it's going to develop external symptoms in the body of the devotee. And then comes sattvic bhavas, a constitutional or existential ecstasy. There are the 8 kind of sattvic bhavas are there. And then 33 kinds of vyabhichari bhavas going to mix. These are called aggressive ecstasy, really aggressive, going to develop, manifest in the devotee, persona of the devotee. So Bhava Bhakti and Krishna Rati appear in the heart because of transcendental pious deeds in this or previous lives of this particular devotees. That you must understand. And here, the bhavas combine with each other to form a particular rasa. So that is the goal. Okay? That is the main thing aspect of it. How this dormant sthai bhava is there, is eventually going to become a particular rasa. How that plays, that is what it's all about. Okay? So don't worry, we are going to get more deeper into it. But right now we are being introduced to different components. Okay. So now, after hearing this thing, Rajnath is asking, I've heard from my guru, Raghunath Das Babaji, the description of Krishna's 64 qualities. So he's asking, are there more such qualities in Krishna? Please describe and explain these qualities to me. So here, Krishna appears as 4 types of personality, as a hero, Nayaka, that are his Lila Shakti dependent. Corresponding to particular pastimes is going to happen, Krishna assumes a particular kind of personality, and they are not necessarily conducive. I mean, they could be very, very conflicting. Here is the example. Dhira Udatta. Dhira Udatta means Krishna is very grave, general, forgiving, merciful, humble, and virtuous in many, many different ways. Dhira Lalita is expert in certain ways, of course. He's naturally very funny, full of youthfulness, expert in joking, and free from all anxieties, and domesticated, and very submissive to his lovers. And Dhira Prashanta, very stabilized, very peaceful. He's very peaceful, forbearing, considerate, and obliging. So all these 3 qualities we can understand very clearly, right? These are very welcome qualities in Krishna. We all know about it. But the 4th one, that is completely in contradiction. So how could the contradictory qualities could be there in a single person? That is the complexity of Krishna. Dhira Uddata. Uddata means very kind of obnoxious personality. Krishna is very envious, proud, easily angered, restless, and complacent. Complacent means, and Ujjwal Nilamani, we know that, right? That Radharani, he makes an appointment with Radharani to meet a particular night in a particular kunja, and Radharani is very anxiously waiting for that. She came prepared for that out of great difficulties. But here Krishna not only does not show up, he spent the night with the rival gopi of Radharani. And when he comes next day, and apologize, but what shows all the telltale signs, and he does not hide those things from Radha, Sri Radha, he makes Radha really jealous. All the telltale signs that he spent a night enjoyed with another rival gopi like Chidravali. So that is called Uddata, very obnoxious, very cruel, you know. So how could that take place? That question also we'll see the answer to that. Okay, Babaji's responses to Rajnath, question number 185. By his inconceivable, so obviously Rajnath was very intrigued. How could this diametrically opposite kind of personalities could develop in the same person, you know? So Babaji quotes these scriptural references. This can happen only in case of Krishna. So here different scriptural references that we are hearing. He's not only great and he's not small. He is the greatest and he is the smallest, completely diametrically opposite. He has no color and yet his complexion is dark, and his corners of his eyes are red. This is from Kurma Purana. Because he has powers and opulences, the Supreme Personality of Godhead possesses extraordinary qualities. Even so, there is no fault in this. His contradictory qualities are glorious and they happen within him in a very cohesive way without complications. So they coexist opposite kind of personalities in the same person. It cannot happen anybody else. So, and then they are full of transcendental bliss and knowledge. They are filled with virtues and free from all fear. Remember, all these different kind of personalities he shows depending on particular pastimes he wants to enact and enjoy. So all the scriptural references are there. And see the qualities that Krishna has, 8 qualities relevant here. Decorated, he likes to dress up exquisitely for a particular gopi he's going to meet. And then enjoying personality, very pleasing personality. He can be depended on, and he cannot be dependent either. Steady, predominating, a meticulous dresser. He will particularly dress up himself to attract a particular gopi. Okay, a magnanimous personality. All these things coexist in these 4 facets of his personality. Babaji's response to Varjana's question 186 to 191. Please describe the devotees who are qualified for the rasas and who attain vibhavas. So this is what Vrajnath is asking. What are the particular qualifications? First of all, the devotee has in his heart sthayi bhava, particular kind of sthayi bhava, stabilized bhava, that eventually going to develop into a particular rasa. His heart is inclined, and the goal of his heart is to attain Krishna prema. Okay, in one of the 5 primary relationships. Mostly the 4. The Shantarasa is not that much, but here we are going to hear Shantarasa do exist, contrary to the general misconception. In Vraja, Shantarasa do exist. That we'll hear in subsequent lessons. So devotee who in his heart, so first and foremost qualification, that devotee must have a goal in his heart to attain Krishna prema, rati for Krishna, bhava bhakti. Okay. Next question, 187. What are the different kinds of devotee who are qualified? What are their adhikaras to participate in this kind of rasas? So there are 2 kinds. One who is a practitioner, sadhaka. The other one is already become perfection, who already perfected that. They also want to come into that. The other question, who are these sadhakas? Please clarify that. What kind of practitioner you're talking about? So these practitioners are materialistic devotee, prakruta devotee that we heard in the morning, yesterday's lecture. The same reference is given. Then the next question, isn't a prakruta bhakta who worship Krishna, but they don't respect Krishna's advanced devotees? Okay. So here, isn't a prakruta bhakta, the materialistic devotee, also qualified for the rasa? How is it that? That doesn't sound right, no? So the answer is, if one has not obtained the mercy of pure devotee and become a pure devotee himself, then he cannot be sadhak. Who are the siddhas, perfected beings? There are 2 kinds. One who becomes sadhana siddha by practicing bhakti process themselves, and one who are nitya sadha. Nitya siddha means they are already perfected being right from the beginning. In fact, they descend to the material world to participate in Krishna's leelas. They come straight from Golok Vrindavan Dham. And who are they? Samprapta Siddha devotees. They are the sadhana Siddha devotees, and those who become perfect by the direct mercy of Krishna or by Krishna's advanced devotees. But by and large, that is very rarely happens. Mostly is by sadhana, by practicing. Don't worry, we are going to take a break also. And then we only 4 or 5 slides afterwards. Majority of the slides we are covering right now because they are that important. Who are the Nitya Siddha devotees? Persons who have achieved eternal blissful life exactly on the level of Shri Krishna by their transcendental loving service, and who loves Krishna millions of times more than they love themselves. Who love themselves, their own personality, they love Krishna thousands and more, and are called eternally perfect. And it's just like Lord Ramachandra, when he descended along with Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna, so they are the four expansions that we all know, right? So the members of the Yadu dynasty and the coward men of Vrindavan also descend with Krishna to join in the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. When the Lord returned to his eternal abode, the associates also returned to their respective abodes, where from they originally came. Okay, now we take break. But then there's only 5 minutes, okay? So we'll have enough time for discussion. Okay, 1 minute is almost left now. Okay, please get ready. So don't be too much in anxiety, okay? This is just an introductory lesson. We are hearing the different technical names, general introduction, and then we will dive into deeper in the subsequent lessons, all right? So my goal right now is to make you familiarize with these technical terms. Okay, now theme 4, Babaji's response to Rajnath's question 193. Please explain the Uddipana, okay, a very important part. Something that gives impetus, that is called Uddipana, okay, that really invokes in the devotee's heart, that sets up developing that. Uddipana means there's a darkness in the room. Now you turn the light on, illumination in the room, so you can see things around. So that's called Uddipana. Okay, it turns the light on and try to then understand Krishna. Anything and everything that Krishna is there, very attractive about him, that turns light on in the devotee's heart. That is Uddipana. Really, literally, Sanskrit word Uddipana means turning on. Okay. So Gujarati mein kehte praktao, you know, something that gives impetus or stimulation to ecstatic love of Krishna are his transcendental qualities, his uncommon activities, right? I told you that my younger days, that Uddipana, that South Indian girl, she was wearing a half sari. That was Uddipana for me, actually. You know, just give you an example, exact practical example of what is Uddipana means. You know, something that you really fall in love about Krishna. You know, his smiling features, his apparel, his garlands, his flute, his buffalo horn, any of these things, or together, all these things could set up this thing, turn the lights on. Okay, his long leg bells, his conch shell, his footprints, his places of pastimes, anything and everything about Krishna that sets up a stimulation, inquisitiveness in the devotee's heart. Tulsi his devotees, his own devotees actually, his friends. If you just look at his friends, happen to see, Radharani is to see his friends, Subala and so on, and immediately she becomes inquisitive about where is Krishna, my little Krishna. So one such occasion for remembrance, yeah, it is Ekadasi. So Krishna's qualities are 3 types according to, right? Man, Vachan, and Karma is his body, his mind, his particular way of giving speech, and his body itself, the way he acts, the way he throws side glances. These are particular signs of Krishna that attracts his devotees. And there are 3 divisions of Krishna's age. Okay, there's a Kaumara, childhood stage, a Pauganda stage, and there is age 5 to 10, and then from 10 to 16, and he remains 16-year-old youth throughout his life, okay, throughout his uh, uh, appearance on this planet. And 3 kinds of his flute. See how technical details are given about Krishna. 3 kinds of his flutes that he play. One is called Vamshi. It's about 15-inch long with 9 holes in the body, and that is mainly to call his cows, all right? That doesn't play a musical sound like that. It just far sharp thing. It's calling his cows around like that. Then Venu, that's about greater than 6 inches with 6 holes. That's where he plays music. Okay. And then Murli, 18 inches long with a hole at the end and 4 holes on his body. So each different kinds of flute that he plays for a given particular occasion, what he wants to have. The conch shell named Panchajanya that we are all familiar, that rests radiantly in his hands. And that itself could be Uddipana for the devotee's heart. So thus these Uddipanas, the rati of the devotee awakens, and when it's directed towards Krishna, the object of rati, that is, becomes alambana. It becomes the very embodiment of ananda, that bliss in the devotee's heart. So rati is the stay bhava, the stabilized bhava, and that is going to develop into particular kind of rasa, okay? Whether he wants to become a servant of Krishna, whether he wants to become a friend to Krishna, or he wants to become parent of Krishna, okay? And finally, of course, as a beloved, as a paramount relationship. Then the genesis, that's what the important thing. Genesis means how it's formed. So genesis of anubhavas from vibhava and sthai bhava in the heart. So that happens in a particular order, right? Anubhavas will follow vibhava. Vibhava is the most important component that has alambana and uddipana. Okay. So what happens first? So question is, how is the rasas of sthai bhava in the heart transmitted externally in the body? So sthai bhava in the heart is stimulated by this vibhava, alambana and uddipana. So like dancing, rolling on the ground, singing very loudly, these are the examples of anubhavas. So vibhava first interacts with the sthai bhava. And for that, the prerequisite thing is there in the heart. The heart is desiring to develop Krishna Rati, prema for Krishna. So sthai bhava and the vibhava in the heart manifest these anubhavas. And the intermediate component is udbhasvara. How is going to take place that? So ecstatic bhavas felt in the heart. Udbhasvara is the root cause that then experienced externally in the body is anubhavas. So when the heart, so you were talking about just yesterday, right? This one, and I told you the question arose that how this thing takes place. So, and somebody asked me about that question. I told you that we will come across here, right here. When heart dances, then the body dances. Nothing comes in the body unless first comes in the heart. So then the anubhavas come into play. So they are the external symptoms of that's taking place in the devotee's body. The bodily symptoms manifest externally by the devotee. So anubhavas in turn further increases vibhava. So that could be a cooperative phenomena. Okay. First sthai bhava, vibhava interaction, then follows the anubhava, right? For anubhavas, once it starts developing, it will stimulate the vibhava itself, and vibhava will stimulate sthai bhava further. So it's once it sets in motion, it keeps on motion. It facilitates back again in a reverse way also, you know. Okay, so now we have little time left, but this, I think, the final slide maybe. What are these sattvic bhavas? Then comes sattvic bhavas. Sattvic bhavas mean born from sattva, which refers to the chitta, pure heart of consciousness that is stimulated by any bhava in relation to the Krishna, anything that is related to Krishna, either directly or with some obstruction. There are three types. Moist smeared snigdha is a primary, and then secondary, directly in relation to Krishna, overpowering the heart. And then indirectly is in relation to Krishna, that is like overpowering the heart, changing bodily colors and so on like that, that appears the body. Smeared, rough, again, we won't get into the technical difficulties, a technical aspect of it. How is it created? When the heart, chitta of the sadhaka becomes saturated with the sattvic bhava, pure emotions related to Krishna. Now here, sattvic bhava, we are not talking about material mode of goodness, right? There's nothing material. We are talking about Krishna prema, nothing material. Everything is transcendental. So this sattva we are talking about is the pure emotions related, so purity of the emotions related to Krishna. That is what we call sattvika. Okay, and it stimulates itself to the life air, prana, profuses agitation of the bodily ensues. That's how the external symptoms develop in the body of the person. And this one technical aspect we'll talk more about later. Okay, specific kinds of sattvic bhavas, these 8 kinds. Then genuine sattvic bhava is manifested from genuine pure devotional service rendered by the true Vaishnavas. The other so-called bhavas are divided into 4 groups. Rati avasa, sattva avasa, that we talked like later yesterday's point. Is a true, pure, and then there is a avasa, seeming like that, but not real. And these are the various 33 Vyabhichari bhavas we won't go into, 33 different kinds. Without attachment to Krishna, Rati Shunya, so independent Swatantra. Now, these are all technical aspects which we'll discuss. Again, I'll discuss in the next class, all right? So let's stop here and take discussion. It was the last slide anyway. So it's open for discussion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So I had 2 places I saw the duplication, Prabhuji. I will just take you back to the slides. I think the slide is 5th slide. It talks about Dhira Buddhita, and the last one also talks about Dhira Buddhitma, Prabhuji.
We'll get into the
no, words are duplicated. Words are duplicated. Maybe it's a typo or something.
First 3 are the qualities that we are all familiar with that. But the 4th quality that is contradictory, that he is uddata, very obnoxious, he's so loving. How he could be so obnoxious also, but that is again driven by a particular pastimes. He wants to develop the jealousy in Radharani's mind. So what he would spend a night with Chandravali, even though he had set up meeting with Krishna, with Radha that particular night, and doesn't show up. And when he returns next day, all the telltale signs that he spent night with Chandravali, he does not bother to hide it. Okay, so this is the kind of personality that also has, but that he particularly enacts in that particular pastime to create a kind of jealousy in the heart of Radharani. So this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the name is same there. My question is that you explain. The name is same.
But Uddata means very obnoxious.
Okay.
undesirable.
The
But
name
that
is not same,
yeah, it's
Prabhuji.
not a
One is
negative
Buddha.
aspect of it. Not in a negative aspect of it. It's a Leela dependent. Okay. Yes, Lalita Priya Mataji.
Actually, Radha Vinod Prabhuji is asking because both are sounding similar. I was just saying that the first one is Uddata and the second one is Uddatta.
Yeah,
So they
there
are
is
different.
difference.
They are different. They sound similar, but they are different, Prabhuji. Sorry.
They're very different.
Okay.
Both one is
Yes,
totally
is there.
different.
Okay. Okay. Got
Diametrally
it.
opposite.
પ્રભુજી આપણે ગુજરાતીમાં
Udatta
બોલીએ
is
ને
different than
ઉદ્ધત.
Uddatta.
That in Marathi also we say Prabhuji that.
પ્રભુજી
Yeah,
આપણે
Prabhuji,
ગુજરાતીમાં પણ બોલીએ છીએ ને કે આ કેટલો ઉદ્ધત છોકરો છે.
Yeah, exactly. આપણે ગુજરાતી સમજી શકાય બરાબર. Uddatta,
હા
Uddatta,
પ્રભુજી.
Uddatta means kind of, it's on a negative aspect of it, But here it is not really negative in the sense, if you understand why he's doing that and why that kind of opposite kind of personality coexists with him, because he is God. He is the supreme God. He can do anything he wants. His Leela Shakti is powerful enough, inconceivable, achintya, and they coexist quite harmoniously within him. And he will show that depending on particular pastimes that you want to enact.
Prabhuji, there's a one more on slide number. This is a 10. Krishna's qualities are of three types related to his body is a kayika, his body mind is also kayika.
Man, Vachan, and Karma.
So word is kayika is a repeated twice
Three
and
aspects of
vachan.
it. His mind is involved, and by the way he speaks, okay, and then he actually executes that what he wants to do. He would execute that through his bodily senses, and so on like that. So that's what it is. Three aspects of that, how we manifest particular pastimes. Again, today's class, I told you, don't get uptight about it. It's basically introduction of these terms. When we actually see in the context of a particular pastimes, then it become much more clearer afterwards as we go along. Okay. I think Radha Vinod Prabhu, you were not there in the course that we did.
Yes.
That's why it sounds very new to you. Those of you attended those courses, they will understand that. But we will go deeper into it, and something special aspect of it that was not discussed in Ujjwal Nilamani or Priti Sandarbha. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
And the explanation that is given by the Shiksha Guru is very unique. That's very easily be understood. Hare Krishna. Any other point, Radha Vinod Prabhu?
No, Prabhuji, just I was trying to, it's two details as you mentioned. I'm trying to absorb. I read it prior to the class also. And I think when I went through, you walked us through, it became more and more clear.
Yes.
On that, but there are a few things, the last few slides you walked through fast, maybe we'll cover up a little later on each term, we'll discuss.
It will become clear. But anything there's a small aspect, it coexists in us also. Anything that is called man, vachan, and karma, something that is in the mind internally, and then in the speech it will come out before actual action that will come into it. In that particular, what are the thoughts that you have in your mind? So internally in the mind, then come in the speech, then actual execution by bodily senses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances.
I both.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hope you're feeling better, Prabhuji. I saw you holding your chest. Hope you're feeling okay.
Sometimes when I get a little too emotional, that happens. It
Okay.
just comes, it's momentary, you're right? Don't worry. I learned how to control myself.
Oh, I see. I just have one question, please. If possible, correct me if my understanding is incorrect. So there are three concepts, three stages, or three types of siddhas: Nitya Siddha, Sadhana Siddha, and Kripa Siddha. Out of which Nitya Siddha are eternal, so eternal associates, so they're already perfect, they are already Nitya Muktas.
Yeah.
And sadhana siddhas are like us, like we do devotional service, trying to perfect ourselves. It takes a long time. Kripa siddhas, I'm coming to the question of Kripa siddhas, who are having the mercy of a spiritual master or a Vaishnava, great Vaishnava. So that Kripa, that mercy flows on them. So they don't perform like, or they don't follow rules and regulations like us. In one of the slices, they don't perform devotional services like us, but they get perfect just by the mercy of the Vaishnava, great Vaishnava or spiritual master. And one example quoted is like in Lord Nityananda, takes care of Jagai and Madai. They were rogues and rascals, like, they were doing all sorts of sins, but not aparats. And then they are considered as Kripa Siddhas. Now, when we say the word Siddha is somebody who is perfected what the devotional service, or they're already perfected. So if that is the case, when they have perfected the sadhana siddha, when they have perfected, so all three of them are at the same level, then Nitya Siddha, Sadhana Siddha, and Kripa Siddha. Once they are, Kripa Siddhas are already Nitya Siddhas are already perfected. Kripa Siddhas are by the mercy, they are perfected. Sadhana Siddhas, by the performance of devotional service, they are perfected. When they are all perfected, then does it mean that they are all at the same state, like the same stage? Like,
no. Let me explain you again. First of all, Nitya Siddhas you understand, right? Perfectly, because they are already coming straight from Golok Vrindavan Dham to assist the pastimes of Krishna. So that's Nitya Siddha. And then there is the Sadhana Siddha. They come here, they do their devotional service, and then they become perfect, right? The third thing, Kripa Siddha, and that's very rarely happens, if ever, very rarely. And a few examples. The point what happens, the direct interaction of Krishna's mercy or the mercy of his devotees in the persona of the devotee, the time quickly compressed, very quickly it happens. That's in the Kripa Siddha. And remember, I told you it very rarely ever happens. Krishna directly rarely ever does that. He does not give pure bhakti very so easily to any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Some specialized situation happens, like for instance, Prahlad Maharaj. He was just 5-year-old kid, right? And Krishna directly shows and touches his conch shell to his head, and immediately he got all the spiritual knowledge that is to be in a 5-year-old kid. Instantaneously, everything came. So that's an example of direct kripa, direct mercy. But that happened because of Narad Muni's interaction. Narad Muni is the one, as his guru, gave him that mantra, Om Namo Vasudevaya, and that facilitated that process, okay? So that's just one example. There are several such examples. So by this kripa, instantaneously comes there. A devotee who is a sadhaka spends years and years, maybe many lifetimes, to come to that point. But direct mercy, that's why it's so rare. Very rarely Krishna does. But more often is usually his devotees show mercy to the disciple. And they quickly develop. By brute force, by brute sadhana, it may take long time. Am I answering your question, point, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, but my question was like, when they all perfected, are they like on the same level, like, or they are after getting perfected, like?
Same level in the sense, a particular way that happens. You cannot compare the Nitya Siddhas, obviously. Nitya Siddha means they're Siddha in all aspect of it. With the Kripa Siddha, I'm sorry, the Sadhana Siddha, they're going to be specialized in particular aspect of it. Okay, so they become perfect by their sadhana in a given particular rasa, particular mode of rasa, that they will become like that. But Nitya Siddha is coming straight from Goloka, and that kind of relation they have in Goloka also, exactly in that. So in Goloka, they are like one of Krishna's close friend, like Subala and so like that, or Krishna's beloved, or Krishna's servant, that they exist in Golok Vrindavan Dham also, and they reenact when they descend along with Krishna in Vraja. Vraja is the replica of Goloka, Gokula, So that's what I'm talking about. So direct comparison is a little bit difficult, So
Thank you so much.
become perfect in that small aspect of specialized aspect of it, that they are being trained at that. Nitya Siddhas don't need any training. They are already there eternally towards Krishna, that particular way. Am I making?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, इसमें हम ये ऐड कर सकते हैं कि हम जीव मुक्त है और वो नित्य मुक्त है.
नहीं,
That's
नहीं.
why,
Jivan Mukta also happens by practice sadhana only.
हाँ प्रभु जी, मतलब वो इतना है, हम लोग कंडीशन सोल है तो हम जीवन मुक्त ही कहलाएंगे ना.
No, eternally Nitya Siddha, they don't go through any kind of training, practice or anything like that. They just reenact their particular pastimes with Krishna here. But they are already being perfected beings are there. Whereas Jivan Mukta you're talking about, that is also by a devotional service in this particular lifetime. And they, while they still have this material body, they become liberated in the sense the three modes are not working by spiritual sadhana. Okay. Hare Krishna.
तो प्रभु जी वो लास्ट टाइम मतलब अंत में वो नित्य सिद्ध बन सकते हैं कभी कृष्णा की कृपा से.
नित्य सिद्ध कैसे बन सकते हैं? नित्य सिद्ध, they are the eternal residents of Goloka. Sadhana Siddha becomes perfected being in that particular small aspect in that particular lifetime here. So they become perfected in that sense, but still, I don't think you can really compare with the Nitya Siddhas. Nitya Siddhas, they don't have to make any kind of effort at all. That is naturally there in their very being, in their very persona.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay, any more?
प्रभु जी एक शेयर करना चाहती हूँ एक बात उद्दीपना के बारे में. कि सुबह में जल्दी उठती हूँ और जब भी मैं चैंटिंग करने बैठती हूँ तो हमारे आजू बाजू में बहुत ही सारे पीकॉक है, मोर है वो बता. तो एवरी डे आई हियर द वॉइस ऑफ पीकॉक, सो इट इज ऑल्सो वन उद्दीपना प्रभु जी.
Yeah, yes, right.
एवरी डे आई व्हेन आई लिसन तो मुझे याद ही आ जाता है कि कृष्णा का सबसे फेवरेट मोर पंख.
That's a good example of Uddipana, because peacock play a very important role in Krishna's pastime in Vraja. In Vraja, peacocks are very, very everywhere, So I'm surprised. I think you live in Baroda, right, aren't you?
Yes, Prabhuji. There are
Yeah,
so many peacocks around my
your
home.
birds, the peacocks are there like that?
Because only farms, આજુબાજુમાં બધા ખેતરો છે પ્રભુજી.
Acha, natural acha. So it's not a city, outskirts of the city you live.
હા, બરોડાની થોડા આઉટસ્કર્ટમાં છે.
Acha. So ठीक है. So this is a good example of having uddipana. There's something triggers that, something you see that's somehow related to Krishna and that will ignite. That is exactly the right word, ignite. Ignite is uddipana. Anything more? Hare Krishna. Okay, then the time is up now. So let's conclude the class. And remember, this just again, I'm telling you, it's just an introductory. I wanted to feel a little familiar with the technical terms. Those who have not attended Ujjwal Nilamani, Priti Sundarma, like that, those who are hearing first times. So just become familiar with the terms. And then as we progress further in subsequent weeks, then become very crystal clear. I promise you that. Hare Krishna. So, is Saga Prabhu there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. So let's conclude the class. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please SM my whole association. All go to Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Parladala dahine, parladala dahine. Hiranyakasi purvaksar, Hiranyakasi purvaksar. Shilatankar nathali, Shilatankar nathali. Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha, Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha. Ito yami, Ito Narsingha, Ito yami, Ito Narsingha. Bhai Narsingha, Hridaye Narsingha. Bhai Narsingha, Hridaye Narsingha. Narasimhamadin Sharanam Prapade. Narasimhamadin Sharanam Prapade. Tavakala Kamala Bhare. Nakadbhuta Singham Dalita Hiranyakasipur Tanubringam. Savadhita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Avakala Kamala Bhare. Nakadbhuta Singham Dalita Hiranyakasipur Tanubringam. Savadhita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, चारु प्रभु की जय, शरद प्रभु की जय, गुरुदेव की जय, ऑल assembled devotee की जय। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण चारु प्रभु, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Thank you, Saga Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. All glory to Srila Prabhupada, all glory to Srimad Bhagavatam, all glory to the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, all glory to all the devotees. Hare Krishna. So
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Missing the Hare Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Charubhai.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hari Bol.